morning. So, hope everybody had a fantastic night's sleep. I woke up this morning and actually, in truth, last night as I was going to bed, right before I went to bed, I decided that I was going to do a little bit of positive reading and all this type of stuff. And I had a lot of emotions stirring yesterday and different things going on. So I sat down and I was just like, I need to get into a good mindset before I hit the pillows and do high level spiritual work, because I just felt like I was gonna just have a night full of who knows what. So before I went to bed, I came over here to the computer and I jumped on Amazon. I was buying some stuff for Christmas, last minute stuff for Christmas, and won't make it here in time, but at least certain people in the house will have what they want. And then the book Ask and It Is Given popped up on my Amazon account, and I have that book and I read it years ago, and I actually read it last year again, and I skim through it every now and then, and I love Abraham Hicks, Esther. So I decided that, good morning, Michael and Patrick and Addison. Okay. So I decided that I would go ahead and click on some of the other books I have not read from Esther Hicks. And one of the books was on law of attraction, of course, because pretty much all of Hicks' work is on the law of attraction, on frequency, on vibration. And I was skimming through, and you can kind of look through the book before you purchase it. So I was looking through whatever this one book is called. And that's where the title came from. The title came from Rockets of Desire. So Abraham Hicks is the reason for the title. And I was kind of skimming through, and it's like, oh yeah, that's like a really great topic. Because Rockets of Desire, it's what we're always launching out. And as I was reading through that, there was this quote that Hicks says, "A belief is really only a thought you keep thinking." A belief is really only a thought you keep thinking. So it's like, that's a really great way of, like a realization, even for me in that moment, like, wow, that is so true. Because we go, oh, that's my belief. That's how I believe. That's how it is. So we think that is how it is, because it's this like core ingrained thing inside of us is what our belief is. And we know that we can change our beliefs, but we know that we also feel that it's really, really hard to change our beliefs. And as I was reading through this free chapter, he's making the point over and over again that it's just a thought that you're thinking. So a belief is nothing more than the thought that you consistently come back to thinking. So how hard is it to change your belief? It's not very hard to change your belief. You just have to change your thought. That's it. So you have to make your dominant thought non-dominant, which means that you have to create a new dominant thought that actually supports what you want. And then, that's where your truth really comes from. Your truth is in what you focus on. So every single, and I've always said that truth is questionable. Your truth is going to be different than my truth. My truth is going to be different than these 10 people's truths. And that we really do make up our truth. We make up our reality. It is, it is that way. But a lot of the times we look at truth and belief as though they are almost these tangible things that you cannot question, because it just is. And you can question it. You can question truth. You can question belief. You can question what you believe is absolutely reality and change the majority of it by changing your dominant thought. So Rockets of Desire, as I was snagging from Abraham Hicks there, Rockets of Desire are all about launching out powerful thoughts and and really, making sure that we are launching those powerful thoughts and then attaching new supportive thoughts to those powerful thoughts. And a lot of this, yesterday I had quite a few intensive hours of just all this stuff come up as I had done this body work session, self-care session, and it was just releasing a whole bunch of stored negative thought programs that have stored up physically in the body, which is something that, I believe that it is proven over and over again that thoughts actually have a physical mass, a weight, and that we do store them in the body, which is why we notice that there's tension in our shoulders and that we carry tension in different spots, and we can only get a massage, but then we don't really process a whole lot. A massage, we keep it very much like it's just a massage. But then if you venture down the body work path, you now can go down and you can do like Reiki, you can do structural integration work, you can do tantric work, and all these physical cord cutting situations. I have a friend who does these ancestral cord cuttings, and she gets very physical about it. And I've had all these different things, and every single one of them, it's about actually just experiencing these thoughts, letting them move through your body, feeling them for what they are. But here's a little gotcha: not buying them, not repurchasing the thought. I purchased it once. It's not that great of a thought. I stored it in my body, and it's actually weight that's holding me back. So feel it, accept it as, okay, I had that feeling, I had that thought, I had that emotion, but is it going to serve me in this moment? Is it going to move me forward? Is it going to help me have the desired result that I want to have? And typically, a lot of the stuff that we're moving is negative thought patterns, negative emotions that have been stored, and that we need to actually just process through. Now, whether you've had a body work session like I just went through, which is why it's kind of probably the topic of the day, stored thought, or if you have just got a whole bunch of stuff going on and you've been hit with things like that you've just been hit with a whole bunch of different stuff that has got these thoughts and emotions processing. Whatever it is, if they are rising up to the surface, they're there because they need to be cleared out. You need to say, okay, this is what's going on. I feel this. I feel this. But then you have to also have the ability to really, really grab those negative thoughts and really flip them quickly. And this is not faking it till you make it. Because I always say, you can't fake it with the universe because the universe knows you at a cellular level. So you cannot fake it with the universe. This little thing happens. Okay? So, and you guys are going to practice this with me right now. So everybody, I can't see you, so I'm not going to know if you're really doing it, but don't make me look like a fool. No, I don't care. Just for 1 second, just take 1 second and smile. That's it. Just smile. Okay? Now feel what's going on. Is your brain kind of going, why the fuck are you smiling? Like, why are you smiling? Just smile. See and recognize the feelings that are coming up in your chest. What's going on with your body? Is your body resisting it? Is your body questioning it? Do you have all these thoughts all of a sudden going, whoa, we don't have a reason to be happy right now. What the heck? But if you hold it, now if you're still holding on to that smile, what you're going to notice is that all of a sudden you're going to start like chuckling at yourself. There's going to be like, okay, hey, that kind of feels, because certain things are going to be releasing, those negative things are going to be releasing, and now your brain is going, wait a second, smile's being held. We got to figure out why the smile's happening. There must be something good going on. So now let's go and find, and all of a sudden you're going to start having positive thoughts that are going to come in to match. Good morning, Jason. Merry Christmas to you too. Um, good, those good thoughts are going to have thoughts to match them. So you have to, when you do something like that, like just smile, it will actually bring matching thoughts into your head that are going to try to support the smile. So the majority of people, and probably self included, and I've been a lot more conscientious about this lately, probably because of these conscious coffees. So thank you for letting me use you guys. But to just walk around and try to walk around with a smile and look out into the world. And like, don't just look down, look up. The majority of people always look down, and they always have more of a frown on their face, or they're just unconscious of what their language, their nonverbal language is saying. And the majority of the time, nonverbal language is speaking in the tone of, I'm upset, I'm mad, I'm stressed, I'm frustrated, I'm low vibrational, I'm low vibrational. And if you just put a smile on your face, you're going to increase. Even if you've had a shitty ass day, even if your dog just died, you lost your job, and your partner just left you, if you actually put a smile on your day, on your face, the whole everything, you're going to be able to almost, people are going to think that you're crazy, but you're going to change your vibration. You're going to change your vibration because your brain itself, and this is proven out there, that if you start to smile, you will change the frequency. The transmitters in your brain are all of a sudden going to go, what the hell is going on? We need to support this. And if you hold it, your brain will start sending matching messages to support the smile, which means your thoughts are going to go from negative to positive. Negative to positive. And that's the trick. There's your change of truth. Okay? So truth is all about where you're focusing. If you get your thoughts to now support positive focus versus a negative focus, then you are going to change your whole vibration, thus change your outside picture, because your inside picture will start to change and your outside picture will reflect what is going on the inside. And that's another little, if you want to know what's going on inside of you, you want to know what your dominant thoughts are, you want to know what your dominant feelings are. You say that you're not attached, you don't know what you're thinking, you don't really pay that much attention to your feelings. Well, what does your life say? What does your life say? Because your life is a direct reflection of what is going on in you. Okay? So Rockets of Desire is really about, like, we launch this rocket of desire. We launch this, and remember that God, the universe, isn't listening to, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be unhealthy. No, the don't isn't out of the question. It's the frequency, it's the consciousness behind it. You're getting the whole. If you say I want this, but you're saying it in a way that is actually a reversal of it, because your energy is, oh, I don't have it. Okay, oh man, I really want that. I really want that. But then all of the stuff inside of you is saying, don't have it, don't have it, don't have it, don't have it. The only thing that you're actually sending out in the rockets is don't have. So what are you doing? You're putting up blocks to receiving. You're putting up blocks to getting exactly what you want. So you might think that you're casting a rocket of what you want, but in essence, you're actually casting 10 rockets of I don't deserve, I don't have, and then you're just not going to have. That's why things do not manifest, because you're going, I don't have. Instead of just getting into alignment with, I do have, which is where the feelings come in. And remember that thoughts create feelings. So you can't be conscious of all the thoughts that you think during the day, but the ones that you are consciously thinking all the time, make sure that they are dominantly positive thoughts about what you do have, about the positive feelings, about the feel good. The smile on your face, because thoughts will gain supportive thoughts. It's just the way it is. Think about it, and it's always easy to go down a negative path. But when you're going down that negative path, so if you get into this negative spiral, have you ever noticed that when you're in a negative spiral that you just kind of, it's called a negative spiral for what reason? because you're spiraling down, and the attraction level to more negative events, feelings, and things and thoughts, which created it all, comes very easily. So you get into this negative spiral, and it's like all of a sudden you're in this whirlwind, and just like a tornado, it's picking up stuff and it's pulling it in, pulling it in, pulling it in, and you've got all these negative thoughts that are spinning, which are then creating tension in the chest, elevated blood pressure, maybe fatigue, stress, muscle pain, headache, all this different stuff, and you just keep spiraling down, spiraling down, spiraling down. Next thing you know, you stub your toe, somebody, you break something, something happens, and it just keeps leading you down. But it is this manifestation starting with the dominant thought of whatever. So change that dominant thought to a positive thought. Keep your focus on that, and realize that if you are having a tough time keeping a positive thought, that it's that negative ball of thinking that you have programmed yourself. So much like a belief, we create these beliefs are habits, okay? So if you have a belief that you don't have, you have a belief that you don't deserve, you have a belief of all this kind of stuff, then what you've done is you've created a habit of these negative thoughts. So that you have this one negative thought, something causes it. You go out into the world and somebody says something to you, something happens, and this thought pops up, and it's the dominant thought. So all of a sudden, before you realize it, you haven't even tapped into really, like you have the dominant thought, but all of a sudden you've got all these baby thoughts attaching to it, and they're matching it, and they're just building it up and supporting it. So the sooner you come on board to, oh my gosh, I had that thought, and look at something in the spiral, now you've got to actually shift yourself over here to this side, and that requires focus, and you've got to keep, that's the practice, that's the exercise, that right there is the work that you have to do. Take out all action, because if you can sit down, and I have this whole thing, like if I'm in a really, really bad space, like last night, I was just really emotional, and I had a whole bunch of shit rising up, and I had negative thoughts spinning, and I had fearful thoughts spinning, and all this different stuff, and I have emails I needed to. I told different people if I was going to email them back. And I was feeling bad because I'm like, I need to do this. I need to email them. But here's the thing. I know that if I send out, especially like with new clients, which is some of those things that I was actually dealing with last night, I thought I needed to send out new client stuff. Like I have proposals out there for all this money you could say sitting out there in my email. And I'm like, I need to send them the proposals and send them the invoice, and it's all good. We all have a very Merry Christmas. So I needed to do that, but I was in this shitty mood, and I had to get right with the fact that I was in a shitty mood. So I'm like, okay, I'm in this shitty mood. So what I ended up doing, and what I have always consistently tried to do, and this is a really, really valuable point, and I'll read what you wrote in just a second, is that if you take action towards something positive when you are sitting in such a negative space, that all you will end up getting from the action that you took is negativity. Because inside of you, you're pulling up, you have all these negative rockets going out. And how are you ever going to create, something beautiful, something good, that creation of what you want, your desire, to come from the negativity? You have to actually flip the internal world so that you can get the positive result. So you have to actually align to it. So like last night, I'm like, I have all this stuff sitting out there, and I need to go take care of it. I'm not doing it tonight. No. Instead, I went and I jumped on Amazon, and I had my daughter here who has a wish list of 15,000 things, and I said, all right, you're 15, you know that Santa doesn't exist. Sorry, Santa doesn't exist if you believe in Santa. I was like, since Mom and Santa is Amazoning it right this very second, let's jump on and let's do some shopping. So we did online shopping last night, and she's happy. And I avoided my email. I avoided my text messages. I avoided anything that I could potentially send out negative rockets out to meet my positive desire that I had sent out. I was like, I'm not touching that right now. I'm not touching it because I will not send these negative charged rockets out through my words in written form to anybody. Will not do that. I'm not in alignment. I'm not there. I won't do it. So I took myself and I went and I did something that I needed to do anyway, that I can't really mess up, which is buying stuff. So I went and I did that. And here's the thing, I have a friend, and I think she's maybe 25. But she would get into these really, really negative spins, and she's a coach too. She would get into these negative spins. But we all have our own shit. And she would get into these negative spins, and like she's doing all this work, and then this negativity comes on, and she's telling me about all this different stuff, and then all of a sudden she would I'm going to go do creative work. So she's in this negative spin, and then she wants to redesign her website. She wants to create a program. She wants to do this. She wants to do that. And you know what happened? She would end up deleting all her important emails, or she would crash her PayPal account, or she would all of a sudden the website would have all these issues, and she would accidentally change her password and get locked out, and all hell would break loose on the internet for her. And I'm sitting over here just going, oh, honey, this is because you're trying to do something positive and creative to get yourself out of it, but you're dealing with your work when you're in such a negative space. When you're in this negative space, whatever you do not try to go to where you are creating your abundance to try to get the abundance to create, because you're going to repel it, and it's going to take more work to bring it back to you than to just go and say, you know what, I'm not going there right now. I don't have to do these physical labors to get my work done today. My work is actually internal. My work is to get in alignment. My work is to get back into the positive. That is what my work is at. Okay? So realize that all the action that you can take, you can go and you can do. There's a lot of us out there there's a lot of people that have jobs. I don't know, count myself as a person that has a job. I have my desire. I love what I do. I really legitimately love what I do. And sometimes our jobs are just jobs, and we just go to them and we do them, right? So for all of you out there that just have that job, and you just go to your job and you just do it. But then you have something that you're passionate about. Maybe you're creating abundance in other ways. Maybe you have other opportunities out there. And then you get into these spaces where everything is just it's negative, and you're feeling, it's you've been kicked and kicked and kicked, and this is not working. This opportunity is not working. And you're just at that testing ground, right? You've taken maybe too many doubt doors, and there's different challenges, but you're getting pushed and you're getting pushed and you're getting pushed. And what you want is actually right there, but you're not seeing it. That's another thing. But you come in, and in those moments, if you choose to try to take action when you're really hating on your opportunity, because you're just feeling, it's not an opportunity. You're just feeling you got all these negative charges, and you try to create something positive out of those negative charges, I'm telling you, just don't take action. Go and do something that's going to make you laugh. Go and do something that's going to put a smile on your face. Go do the real work. And the real work is the internal work in those moments. Because if you go and you get the internal work done, you can come back, and then the actual action of what you need to do in this physical realm is going to just naturally manifest itself in a lot softer, smoother, easy, effortless way. And when you are doing something effortlessly and easily and in love and excitement because you're turned on, you really truly enjoy what you're doing, that means that you're in alignment to it, and that means that you will create. So step away from the keyboard, step away from the actual action task, get off of the to-do list, and take it from me. I always have a freaking 1,000-item to-do list to do. But there are days that I look at my to-do list and I just say, you know what, I'm not there. And if I try to do my to-do list, then I'm going to do nothing but create chaos. I will only create chaos if I try to go to my to-do list for these physical action things when I am in such a negative place. to do those physical action things when you're in a positive place. And if you're not in that positive place, if you are not excited about doing what you are doing, then don't do it. Go and find something else that will help you shift your energy. In those moments, go and, go window shopping, go take a drive, go take a walk, go listen to some really good music. If you really, really, like Chris and I is like, let's book a trip, let's do this, let's do that. Because I'm like, I have to go find my orgasm. I have to go find something joyous. I have to do something that's going to shift me depending on where I'm at, how big of a mass of I'm sitting in. I know that I have to do something really drastic and just go, like last night. I was just like, you know what? Let's shop. There you go. That's great therapy, right? Let's shop. I'm going to shop my way through this negative stuff. And what? When I woke up, I made sure that I went to bed and I did my prayer of gratitude like I do every single night. And I woke up and I slept soundly, thanks to Mr. Michael. Thank you so much. I have been putting on the lavender, sleeping like a baby. And I woke up this morning and I felt positive. And I said my prayer of gratitude this morning, and look at me. I'm down here. Tension. I have a little bit of tension still, I'm feeling, which is normal from the bodywork session that I did. But I'm feeling really lighter in spirit. So today I'm like, okay, today, so far, as of 6:31 this morning, I feel pumped up enough to actually, like, I can go into creation, which means that I'm going to manifest good shit into my life instead of chaos. Okay? Let me read what you guys were saying. Thoughts may be experienced as food or drink. Our organs absorb the nutrients of our food and drink and then release them. The value of the intake is witnessed in the time, type, and quantity of how it is expelled in the short term. The true value, however, is experienced by our overall health and wellness. Beautiful message this morning. Thank you, Michael. You're absolutely right. There's a whole bunch of I can't remember, and if one of you know the name of I think he's a little Japanese or Chinese doctor who back in the 80s, early 90s, something like that, did all the experiments on thought affecting water molecules. And what they did was they focused intention. They took water, a glass of water, and they held onto it, and they just focused different intention into the water. And then they froze it, and they then looked at the different creation of the water molecules, and what you ended up with was like they focused anger in on one, and it was a chaotic, sporadic, like broken design is what you got. And when they focused in on love and on gratitude, on peace, on these positive, high positive emotions, they actually created these beautiful, like perfect snowflake creations, and all the negative was all broken and like shattered glass looking. So very, very cool. I do encourage you, maybe I'll go and look it up and to this conscious coffee, because it's a really great video, and it just shows the power that our thoughts have with like food and drink. And when you think about that, like if you're sitting there at your desk, let's say, and you're in a really negative mood, you're drinking water and you're just in this negative mood, you're sending this charge into your drink, and then you're consuming it. And guess what? If you consume that, then what's that doing? It's that we are made up of water, and we're actually having these reactions. So we're feeding our organs negative energy in that moment. Or we can actually focus in and apply conscious positive thought to our food and drink. I actually love to eat with people new in my life. As people come into my life, one of the first things that I like to do with them is go have lunch, because I want to see how conscious they are at eating. Do they just scarf down their food and eat unconsciously, or do they actually slow down? What's the conversation like? Looking at the positiveness. And also, the more positive you are, you're going to make healthier choices for your body, so that's going to support your body as well. Thank you, Michael. Addison, but you also recognize the thoughts and didn't just shove them away. So honoring your feelings, but also changing the vibration at the same time. Yes, correct. So I remember a couple of days ago, last week, whenever it was, I was talking about Jim Rohn back in my 20s. I used to listen to Jim Rohn all the time. And I loved Jim Rohn because he's such a freaking realist. He's awesome. Him and Les Brown, love those two. But Jim Rohn would always have to statements of like, if you're broke, say that you're broke. If you're ugly, say that you're ugly. If you're unhealthy, say you're unhealthy. If you're this, say that you're that. He's like, put it on the fridge. That was his statement. Put it on the fridge. Write it down. Put it on the fridge. Own it. Own it for what it is. That's where you're at. That's just where you're at. Stop trying to not own what is going on in your life. Like, take responsibility. The message is you've got to take responsibility for exactly where you're at. So if you're sitting in a pile of shit, take responsibility for the fact that you're sitting in a pile of shit and that you created your pile of shit to get your butt out of the victimhood and step into the responsibility role. No matter how bad that pile of shit is, guess who's responsible for it? We each are responsible for our own pile of shit. Every single little bit of it. So, okay. But so look at that, and yes, it's I owned what was coming up inside of me, and then it's applying the consciousness, the recognition of, okay, this is what I'm feeling, and then knowing, and hopefully my goal through these conscious coffees is to provide with those little tips, because 20 years ago, when I was in my 20s, I didn't know. I was already on the path of learning a lot of this stuff, and I had a lot of great leaders in my life, and I was searching actively and underneath coaching and teaching from different fantastic people out there, and reading a lot and listening to audios, and I would wake up listening to things. I would go to sleep, falling asleep to like people like Jim Rohn and Robert Schuller. Robert Schuller keeps popping up in my mind these days, and listening to all of those. So I was like feeding myself all this good stuff, but then I had the youthfulness of just not understanding it, and the fact that my frontal lobe was not fully functioning either in my early 20s, like all of us get to deal with. And I look at, like, just last night I was talking to my future son-in-law, and he's staying with me for like the next 9-10 days before he heads out to Maui to be with my baby girl. And we were talking about her, and he was telling me, like, all this stuff, and like her emotions are all chart. She's stressing out. She's on an island with her sister, and then they've got a lot of positive moments, but then they got all these stresses. And her personality is that she focuses in on the negative. She's not one of these lessons. No matter how much you are, I keep telling her, no, honey, you do not have to suffer like this. You're making yourself suffer. Stop that. This is your choice. You do not have to suffer. But she just keeps focusing on suffering. And keeps saying, how's that serving you? How's this suffering serving you? Shut up, Mom, and she'll hang up on me. Like, I love you, but you do not have to. You don't have to suffer, and it is that right there that you really, none of us have to suffer. It is a choice to suffer. And yesterday I had a choice. I vocalized a lot of things. I knew that instead of bearing it down like I am guilty, and my habit is that I go, ooh, that's like I don't want to share my shit with anybody else, because I'm like, it's not anybody else's shit, so I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to bless somebody else's stuff. But in that, it's also that I'm not vocalizing it, I'm not releasing it. I'll store it back down, and then it gets locked up inside of me, and then it does its next other ways. So yesterday I was just like, you know what? Damn this stuff. I'm not entering 2018. I have made this commitment that I am getting rid of these negative charges, and that I need to move through. So I've been blessed with this great session. I've been blessed with like a safe space. So I'm going to go ahead and clear. So it was like that ownership of letting myself feel that stuff and then letting it out, but not attaching to it. So even though some of my words might have been seemingly like they were like what I was living, it was also that I just had to get it out, because that was what was stored inside of me. So as it was coming out, it was just coming out. And I was just like, that's where I was at in that moment. So it was literally that moment where, and then I'm like, okay, as I cried myself home, and then I pulled my shit together because I had to go into the store and I had to go into a restaurant and pick up my kid. So like I'm pulling myself together, and I just kind of avoided people because I was like, I don't need anybody else's energetic charge in this moment. I'm too much in a weak state right now. I'll take on too much. So I avoided everybody, dealt with what I needed to do, came home, drank water, did not resort to, and here's the other thing, and maybe tomorrow I'll discuss this, is like a lot of the times we want to resort to masking things. We want to resort to comfort things, and those comfort things might be smoking some pot, might be drinking some alcohol, might be comfort foods, might be, sugar, candy, sweets, that kind of stuff, whatever that is. And typically it is something that we are consuming because we feel empty in a different way. We feel like there is this stuff that's going on inside of us, and we're trying to, cover it up, and we'll say, well, I need to feel better. And a nice piece of cheesecake and a glass of wine right now really make me feel better. Yeah. That's actually going to do with the reverse. In the moment, we'll be like, ooh, really great cheesecake. But then you'll even notice that something like that, you're gonna feel like this ugh in your gut after you consume it, because you weren't vibrating even with the cheesecake. So it's like, you're not vibrating with the cheesecake and the glass of wine. Maybe you got a little bit of like edge taken off, but all you're doing is suppressing and actually opening yourself up to holding in this stuff versus fully letting it go. So what I chose to do for myself in that moment was, I'm going to drink water. I'm not going to consume anything but water, even though I'm a little bit hungry. Now I did have a sandwich because I hadn't eaten all day, so I was like, I need to make sure that I need to eat a little something. So I just chose to eat a little bit of food, a little bit of nourishment, and then I had water, and then I went and I refused to touch anything that I could potentially mess up. So I was like, I'm not going to send out any negative frequencies. And I put myself into things that, like, okay, I had some good fun conversations with the kids. We were talking about unicorns in the Bible. Unicorns in the Bible. We were talking about interesting biblical quotes about unicorns and dragons in the Bible, and a whole bunch of other mythical things. So just had this great mythical conversation going on about the Loch Ness monster potentially being a dinosaur that's just down at the bottom of the ocean. So conversations over my breakfast table. But, going in and just having these, it was a completely different spin on things versus where, like, my ego wanted me to get on the computer and do this work. My ego was trying to get me to sabotage stuff in a different way. And my work was to recognize that and to step away from the laptop, step away from the cell phone, step away from anything that I could potentially mess up, and actually just do my work and let myself release. And before I went to bed, I wrote down 3 things that I really wanted, because I started to come into this space. So I grabbed my flow book and I wrote down an intention, and I directly asked for, the universe, God, to support me and give me a clear message by first on one particular thing, just so that I would have this directional sense. I'm like, this is what I really truly do need, because I've got a whole bunch of different moving pieces here, and I just need to know directional sense here. I don't need any big thing, just give me one clear message. So I wrote that down, and I did give myself a timeline, because I'm like, I know myself. I'll just sit out there and I'll be like, I'll focus in on trying to have this, and if I don't have that deadline for this one little thing, because I'm not asking for a major manifestation thing, I was asking for a simple sign. And then I just went ahead, and from there I was like, okay, I felt more release. And then I went and I wrote down 3 different things that I really want to pull in. And I went and I sat in front of the fireplace, and I brought myself just into this place of stillness and allowed myself to tap into my heart just a little bit. And I tapped into this place of love. And then I wrote down these 3 things, and I tore the paper separate, and then I lit them on fire separately, and said them to myself, and then tapped into love. I let them burn and set them in the fireplace and just let them burn, like sent them off. Little prayers sent off to heaven, you could say. And from there I was like, okay, I feel like I can sleep, and like I can sleep in peace, and I think my energy is switching. So as soon as I felt like my energy was switching, I allowed myself to go to bed, and here we are. So I hope that from all my blabbing this morning, that, and I've gone over like 10 minutes, sorry guys, thanks for hanging in with me, with a couple of you that have there, that at least you've gotten a little bit of a perspective as to, and really the gist is that be careful of the rocket. When you launch a rocket of desire, know that you don't want it to just burn up like a firework, okay? You actually want it to have supportive rockets to come with it. So you need to really be conscientious of doing the real work. So, like I said, I guess the message of this morning is launch those rockets of desire, send out supportive, conscious rockets of desire for support, and realize that the work that you need to be doing is not the work of the to-do list of the physical world, but it is the work that comes right in here. Because if you are not in alignment to that rocket that you just launched, the rocket is just going to be a pretty firework idea that will never manifest to anything if you don't support it with the positive thoughts and do the work that you need to. And that anything that you say, well, that's just my belief, that's just my truth. Byron Katie yourself, as I say, and ask, is that true? Is that true? Okay? So I hope that this was helpful, and I will catch you guys tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning with who knows what. But it'll be conscious thoughts, of course, all on creation right now. And thank you for sharing, and anybody who's catching this afterwards, feel free to leave your messages there on the side. Share this, please. For those of you who are listening, if you can just pop this off, sharing it, it does help me get it out there. Your shares are important. And actually, this is Saturday. Okay, Addison, I know that you are still there. So tomorrow, I believe at 1 o'clock, Addison and I are going to be venturing out and trying to actually join some Facebook Lives together from her place and my place, and we're going to be doing a free spirit talk. And we have not decided on the topic yet, but we're going to be doing free spirit talk. It's going to be a bunch of just free spirit stuff. So every single one is going to be about a different topic. It's not going to necessarily be on manifestation all the time. It's not going to be on sex. It's just going to be on free spirit stuff. So in the moment, very, very free spirit. So anybody who's on here, try to catch us around 1 o'clock. No, also if you can't catch us, that it will be recorded, and we're just test driving it a couple times to see if it's something that we want to do over the course of this next year consistently. So feedback there, and share this. I'm also trying to make up my mind if I want to continue to do conscious coffee. So if you want me to do conscious coffee through the year of 2018, if you're enjoying this, let me know. Please give me the positive feedback or the negative feedback. Either way, I need to know, because I don't want to be sitting here at 6 o'clock in the morning blabbing for 30, 40 minutes if nobody wants to hear it. I think it's important. So, but just let me know what your thoughts are and if you'd like to see it continue into the new year. And with that, go have a blissed out, orgasmic, awesome Saturday. Go enjoy yourselves and get creating and launch some awesome, amazing rockets of desire. Okay? I will catch you guys tomorrow. Bye.